Hi guys! I'm live earlier today with the news because at 9:30 p.m. ish I'm doing a live with Tommy, otherwise known as my dude, and we're gonna be breaking down everything that's wrong with Ukraine on Fire. The documentary by Oliver Stone that is basically just Russian propaganda filmed by an American. Oh, sorry. One second, sorry. Привет, Назар. Yes. So, hi Lucy. Oh my gosh, why is my thing glitching so much? Okay. Yes, okay. Ukraine, yes. So there is basically, Ukraine is playing Scotland right now for the qualifiers for World Cup. And Ukraine-Scotland is 2-0 Ukraine's winning, which is quite fascinating because Ukraine hasn't had the best luck in soccer in a while now. We used to have a pretty good national team during the time that Shevchenko, that Sheva was playing. He was good himself. Now he's the trainer of our national team. And yeah, they're winning 2-0 against Scotland so far, which is pretty good. It's funny because like I do have a lot of friends who are either Latin American or European, and every single one of them are texting me and they're like, "Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this?" Yeah, so it's really fun. It's really, really nice news. Yeah, I'm very happy that Sheva is proving to be effective for the Ukrainian national team. It's really nice to see him be back in soccer for a while now, just from a different perspective, I guess, not as a striker anymore. Hi, Graham. But yeah, so today I was gonna dive into the news. Have you defeated your illness yet? So almost. Oh, hi Morocco. Hi Riyadh. Almost. I'm still like a little sick. I still talk through my nose and like my back hurts. One of the worst things about me getting colds is that like I have a pretty bad back and it starts like hurting. So my back is like a little iffy, but I'm feeling better. Okay, so we have 102 updates to go through for Ukraine today. Shall we start? Shall we start? You sit very bad. Well, it depends. I mean, like my back has always been really bad. Like normally I sit like this, and I really actually try like straighten my back, but here it's just a little yeah. Okay, so let's recap. Ukraine is winning against Scotland for the World Cup qualifiers. So far it's 2-0. And let's dive into other news, and if I see any more updates about soccer, I will let you know, or there are people in the chat here who are watching it, so if Ukraine or Scotland has a goal, please let me know. Okay, OPEC countries are discussing the termination of Russia's participation in the agreement on oil production. In addition, as part of the sixth package of sanctions, the EU intends to introduce a ban on insurance of tankers carrying Russian oil, the newspaper reports. The Financial Times confirms this information and adds that the UK will join these sanctions against the Russian Federation. Pain, hope, courage, and returning home, and the illustrations of Ukrainian artists which reflect our realities on a par with the chronicles of journalists. Let me go grab my microphone because I forgot that I'm sitting in front of my window and there's going to be quite a few like random noises that I don't want you guys to hear. One sec. What's up, boo? What's up, boo? Well, actually, I realized that I'm charging my phone, so this might not work. Anyways, you're not done with this shit yet. What shit? What, talking about Ukraine? That bothers you? No, I'm never gonna be done with that shit. Sorry. Also, oh my gosh. Let me see something. No, I have some, like, the delivery or something. I'm sorry. Sorry, had to check on that. There has been like packages missing from my package room because people broke in a couple of times. So so basically, I has been passed down in her family since Чингізхан. What dog toy? Котра година? 4:10 дня. So yeah, basically I just had to take that because we often have like people try to get into our building that don't belong here, and it was like a delivery person, and they're like, delivery, and I'm like, for who? And they're not saying anything. Aw, chow chow. I like chow chows. Okay, so these are the illustrations of the Ukrainian artists that were made about the war. Hi, James. Oh, I think it was just Ukraine 3-0. Is it Ukraine 3-0? Someone says that they were watching, and I think I just got a news update. No, still 2-0. Okay. Okay. Alright. Nuclear exercises in the territory of the Ivanovo region in the Russian Federation. Footage appeared in the network with the exercises previously announced by the Russian authorities in the city of Ivanovo. According to the Ministry of Defense, about 1,000 servicemen and more than 100 pieces of equipment will be involved in them. All would be fine, but Putin again decided to remind the world that they are a nuclear power, and in these exercises, among other equipment, Yars autonomous missile launchers of mobile ground missile systems, which are designed to launch nuclear missiles, were noticed. Greece to hand over Soviet BMP-1s to Ukraine and receive German martyrs in return. Hello, Sin. Come here. Sin. Come hang out with us. Sinny. Hello. Come hang with us. Okay. In return for these infantry fighting vehicles, Greece will receive German-made Marder armored fighting vehicles in the same quantity and on the same day that they're sent to Ukraine. According to Reuters, 100 Marder infantry fighting vehicles will be handed over to Greece. The date of the transfer of the BMP is still unknown. In addition, on June 1st, the United States will present the 11th 700 million military assistance package for Ukraine, which will include HIMARS missile systems, counter-battery and anti-craft radars, Javelin anti-tank systems, helicopters, and vehicles. The United States will also transfer missile systems to Ukraine for precision strikes inside the country. They can accurately hit targets at a distance of up to 80 kilometers. The Russian army conducted assault operations in the northern, southern, and eastern regions of Severodonetsk. Separate units have achieved success, are fixed in the city center. Also, according to the General Staff, the aggressor is attacking in the direction of Liman, Stary Karavan, with the support of Ka-52 helicopters. The flights continue. The enemy is trying to oust the units of our troops from their positions in the areas of Bilohoyevka and Vrubovka. He used assault and army aviation in the areas of the settlements of Kamyshevacha, Berestovo, and Nirkovo. 2 enemy sea mines were torn off the anchor by a storm. One was carried away by the waves to the coast of Odessa region, where it was neutralized by specialists from the subversive team of the naval forces. The other was blown up by our soldiers right in the sea. In readiness for the use of missile weapons in the Black Sea, there is 1 carrier of sea-based cruise missiles of the Caliber type. Rammstein unfurled a large flag of Ukraine on stage during a concert in Zurich. Sinny. Sin. Sinon. Come here. The Red Viburnum or Czerwona Kalina was played by a musician right near the Kremlin, and here is a video of that city. Oh my gosh. It's interesting because I don't know if these pedestrians know what that melody means. Russia's goal to seize Severodonetsk and Donbass in general creates vulnerabilities for Russian troops in the Kherson region, where the armed forces of Ukraine go on a counter-offensive. After other conclusions of American war experts regarding the situation at the front, Russian forces are increasingly focusing on the offensive against Slovyansk from the southeast of Izum and west of Liman. Russian troops advance in and around of Severodonetsk. Russian troops are probably hoping to advance on Lysychansk, Toshkovka, to avoid a fight across the Seversky Donets River from Severodonetsk. Russian forces are probably trying to use the reserves of Belarusian equipment to compensate for the heavy material losses in Ukraine. In late May, Russian citizens continued their series of attacks on Russian military registration and enlistment offices, probably in protest against the secret mobilization. The Russians opened fire on the Proletari plant, and the Azot Association entered the central regions of Severodonetsk. The head of Luhansk Army, Serhiy Haidai, reports. The Russians are conducting assault operations, gaining a foothold in the center of Severodonetsk, while continuing to destroy infrastructure and industrial facilities. Yesterday, they attacked the Azot chemical plant from a plane, as a result of which poisonous substances were released. In the afternoon, the enemy fired artillery at the Proletari plant in Lysychansk. Several premises were damaged. Every day, 60 to 100 Ukrainian soldiers die at the front, and another 500 get injured. The situation is very difficult. 60 to 100 soldiers per day are killed in combat, and about 500 people are injured in combat. This is how we keep our defensive lines. The most difficult situation is in the east of Ukraine, the president of Ukraine said in an interview with Newsmax. He also noted Putin's weakness. Attempt to kill the leader of this or that country is, I would say, weakness. If you cannot speak, then it is a weakness. Weakness is to start a war, and they have already shown that weakness. Ukraine does not plan to attack Russian territory. This was the answer given by the president of Ukraine to a question from a Newsmax journalist about the supply of American MLRS system to Ukraine. The White House says we can use them to attack Russia. Look, we're not planning to attack Russia. We're not interested in the Russian Federation. We're not fighting on its territory. And he added Ukraine needs missile systems that can hit further than 100 kilometers. Russian invaders again fired on the Kryvyi Rih district of Dnipropetrovsk region. Kryvyi Rih is where Zelensky is from himself. The enemy again hit the Zelenodolsk community with artillery. People were not hurt. Electricity works in the Shirokova community. They're repairing the line damaged by yesterday's mortar attack in one of the villages of the community, the head of the region said. Intelligence update. Russian ground operations remain tightly focused with the weight of firepower concentrated within a small sector of Luhansk Oblast. Over 30th and 31st of May, fighting intensified in the streets of Severodonetsk, with Russian forces pushing closer to the town center. Over half of the town is likely now occupied by Russian forces, including Chechen fighters. Beyond the Donbass, Russia continues to conduct long-range missile strikes against infrastructures across Ukraine. The strategically important bridge links Ukraine with Romania and with Ukraine's ports on the Danube, which have become critical to Ukrainian exports after the blockade of Ukrainian Black Sea ports by Russia. Lieutenant Colonel of the Special Regiment, named after Akhmat Kadyrov Zaur Dimayev, died during the battles for Kamyshevacha. It is reported that Dimayev was unalived in the car along with the driver as a result of shelling. There were still 4 Chechen police officers in the SUV who were just injured. Missile attack on Slovyansk. The mayor of the city, Vadim Lyakh, said that there were no casualties. 3 private houses in one of the districts of the city were destroyed. About 10 were damaged.
Очередное недоброе утро в Славянске. Ракетным ударом разрушило 3 дома, повредило порядка 10 домов частных строений. Эвакуируемся, берегите себя, мы вместе. Очередное недоброе утро.
In Ukraine, 243 children were murdered and more than 446 were injured as a result of the armed aggression of the Russian Federation in Ukraine. Comparative map of the situation in the eastern part of Ukraine from European war experts. In their opinion, the most fierce battles were for the Luhansk region, namely in Severodonetsk and Popasna directions. Of the positive changes, the counter-offensive actions of our armed forces of Ukraine in the Kharkiv region. Here is a comparative map showing cases of control in the eastern part of Ukraine from May 1st to May 31st. Map of Russian oil pipelines that are not subject to sanctions. According to the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, the Russia-owned refinery in Schwedt will receive oil until at least the end of 2022. This is 12% of all oil refining in Germany. At the same time, the left-wing fractions of the German parliament are demanding that the exception for pipeline oil last longer, since East Germany will otherwise suffer. Pink versus red. So, sorry, I thought it was. So, here's the thing. Red is occupied territory since 02/24/2022. Yellow is recaptured by Ukraine. Yellow is also Ukrainian-controlled territory, and then pink is forward Russian operating areas. So basically, the pink is the Ukrainian army pushing back the Russian occupied territory. And also a lot of it became yellow as well. Hungary is a big problem right now. Russian deputy proposes kidnapping NATO defense minister in Ukraine. Oleg Morozov, a member of the dominant Единая Россия party, Putin's party, said Western arms supplies to Ukraine pose a direct threat to Russia and could require Moscow to reconsider its military objectives. You know, maybe I'm developing some kind of fantastic story that in the near future, at some stage, the Minister of War of some NATO country will travel by train to Kyiv to talk with Zelensky, but he wouldn't get there and he wouldn't wake up somewhere in Moscow, Morozov said on the air of Russia 1. Will we kidnap him? Asked propagandist Olga Skabeyeva with a smile. Yes, and then we would figure out who gave that order, who is specifically responsible for that, Morozov said. This is not such a mythical picture. There are new rules in the world now. Let all these ministers of war gathered in Kyiv think a little about what it would be like to wake up in Moscow. Lieutenant General Mikhail Zuzka, who was born in Volyn and led the unsuccessful offensive of the invaders in the Mykolaiv region, was arrested in the Russian Federation. On the audio intercept recording, one of the interlocutors can be heard talking about the arrest of the commander of the 58th Combined Arms Army of the Southern Military District of the Russian Federation. The occupant accuses the general of leaking information about the units of the Russian troops, as a result of which the armed forces of Ukraine successfully eliminated the invaders. The probable reason for the arrest of the general is the failed offensive in southern Ukraine. I'm paid propaganda? Oh, thank you. That is such a compliment. You know, anytime you call me paid propaganda, all I'm thinking about is that I just sound like a professional journalist to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's a compliment, don't worry about it. You can leave though, not holding you hostage here. Not unlike, you know, the Ukrainian people, not unlike the Ukrainian people who have been kidnapped to Russian territories. But yeah, thank you very much. Also, if you would like to send me my check somewhere, I receive, and my P.O. box is in my link in bio. Nuclear trainings in the territory of the Ivanovo region in Russian Federation. So this is a reiteration of the news that they are doing the nuclear training in order to remind everybody that basically they are a nuclear superpower. Привет из России. Пока. До свидания. Хотя нет, не до свидания, я вас видеть не хочу на самом деле, поэтому вам просто пока. То, что у вас профайл фото, это флаг русский с орлом, как бы, ну, вам здесь нечего делать. And there was a person who said hi from Russia, and they had like a Russian flag as their profile picture and the eagle. And I was just like, yeah, I'm really not in the mood to hear that, where have you been for the last 8 years? Or Bambili Bambas, you know, that's also my favorite thing from you know, Russian speakers. Okay, this is very interesting. The ratio of the area of temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine to the areas of European countries. So, this area of Ukraine is 20% of Ukraine. And this is the occupied territory. Now, if you were to put that same amount of land onto Germany, it would be 36% of the territory of Germany. If you were to put that onto Italy, it would be 40% of the territory of Italy. Well, I asked to block you because you have a Russian flag with a Russian eagle as your profile picture, and I'm not interested in having you here, because had you been not proud of your country, you probably would not be displaying its flag. And if you're proud of your country, then we have nothing to talk about. Anyways, so if you were to put this area of Ukraine that's occupied by Russia onto Bosnia, Montenegro, and Slovenia and Croatia, it would literally take 115%. 115% of these countries together. Now, it'd be 55% of the United Kingdom. It'd be 101% of Austria and Switzerland. Czech Republic would be 103%. So when people say, you know, just give it out to Putin, just seize that territory, you're basically asking to give Putin a whole country full of people. Because if you think about it, it is literally the size of either Austria and Switzerland together or Czech Republic and Slovakia together. Artillery shelling in Mykolaiv. There are explosions in the city. It is reported by the mayor of the city, Alexander Sankevich. I ask everyone to be as careful as possible. Stay away from the windows. Okay, dude, серьезно, ну, like... Привет, Израиль. Куда ты лезешь? Тут 90% не знают, где находится Украина. Well, no, but 100% of them really wish to forget where Russia is. No, that's more than 3 accounts. There was like 3 different accounts, and then there was that like other one. Like, wow, that's a very, very, very passionate troll. I mean, hey, I respect the passion for his job at least. This is the most passionate troll I've met in a while. This is a troll that cares about their job. This is a troll that has a hobby in life. Okay? Like, this is more than an average Russian troll has shown me. So I mean, hey, I'm impressed. Volodymyr Zelensky published photos on International Children's Day. June 1st has always been a day of warmth, joy, and children's smiles. Russia has overshadowed this day with war. Russia is stealing childhood from our children. It wants to destroy our future, but we are fighting back and protecting every Ukrainian child for the future of Ukraine, for a peaceful sky and a happy childhood. Героям слава. So, the Bakhmut-Lysychansk highway, which is under constant shelling by the Russian troops, looks like this. There are lots of destroyed vehicles along the road. Meanwhile, it's known from the head of Luhansk military. Hi, Vasyl, привет. I'm reading the news and I'm 50 updates away. So if you want to stay for the news and comment, I'm happy. I'm happy to.
Okay, you can continue. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're not. I mean, hey, you can stay. you can give me.
Okay, yeah, we can have like more viewers. Yeah, you can do updates. Yeah.
So I'm doing a live earlier today because I have a live planned later about to watch Ukraine on fire and debunk it. But so this is what Lysychansk Bakhmut highway looks like. There are lots of like abandoned vehicles, and there is a lot going on there. And meanwhile, it is known from the head of Luhansk military administration, Serhiy Haidai, that the invaders control 70% of Severodonetsk as of the morning of June 1st. Which, you know, so I wanted to comment on that because the other day someone told me, don't you see that Russia is winning? Well, Russia's not winning. First of all, yes, Russia has had some wins around eastern Ukraine. But I've said this before and I will repeat it again. Think about it. Ukrainian army is outnumbered 10-1. They're outnumbered 10-1, and Russia is not overtaking areas. It is still a tug of war. As in, it goes back and forth, right? So the Ukrainian army is lacking the arms they need, and they're outnumbered. They're outnumbered 10 times. Russia can take some places temporarily, but the second that we get the weapons shipments and the second that we get more guys and girls over to that side, can you imagine what's going to happen to Russia? Because Russia is genuinely losing all of their, they don't have the manpower anymore. Like, even if they announce a full-scale invasion at this point and they're like, we're going to war with Ukraine within their country, people are not going to think of how they can go into the army and how they can help. They're going to think of how they can buy themselves off of the army and not go, because nobody wants to die and nobody wants to fight in this war. Let's say they can find some conscripts who are going to go. This is bodies. It's cannon meat, like bullet meat, because these people don't know what they're doing. And the difference between training Ukrainian civilians for the last 3 months and then training Russian soldiers for however long they're going to be training them is that Ukrainian civilians who decided to sign up for the army want to fight for their country. So they're doing everything they possibly can do to know how to be a successful soldier and how to successfully serve in the military. The people in Russia who were forced to go into the army and forced to go into Ukraine, and they have no military knowledge, literally are not trying to learn how to be good on battlefield. They're just trying to get it over with. So, temporary advances don't mean anything, to be honest. It's just upsetting because the people have to live in Russian occupied territories. So yeah. Turkey launches military operation in Syria. According to Turkish President Erdogan, the country is entering a new phase of the decision to create a 30-kilometer security zone in Syria. We're clearing Tel Rifat and Manbij from terrorists. Then we will do the same step by step in other regions. Let's see who will support these legitimate security measures, Turkish media quoted Erdogan as saying. So I don't understand. Is Erdogan trying to do the same? Oh my gosh. There is this troll, Vasyl, in my comments. It's the 5th account he has created so far in order to comment how much he likes Russia. Like, in this live, he has been blocked five. This is the 5th time, and he keeps making up new accounts and being like, "Why are you blocking me?"
How is it possible? Like, you just have to get a phone number or email.
An
I
email,
have got
email.
terrible. I hope your mods are working.
They are overtime today. Like, it's been so many trolls.
Okay, is there anyone who can mod for Yulia? Courtney, you can go.
No,
If
I'm
there are
good.
no.
We're good. They're doing well. Thank you.
Okay, it's fine.
No worries.
So, guys, one more time you can support Yulia's live. You can tap the screen, because if you share to your friends, if you tap the screen, if you send gifts, it helps TikTok to understand that we are making nice content. It helps to push it, and we can get more viewers, we can get more attention. So if you do that, you help Ukraine. Okay, guys? So you know what to do.
Thank you. Also, do the same thing in Vasyl's, because Vasyl is making the best content.
Oh, yeah. Vasyl is making the best content about daily life mostly right now.
Well, hey, that's good.
Yeah.
So the enemy launched a missile attack on the Sumy region. The head of the Sumy OVA, Dmytro Zhivitsky. Also, I swear to God, these are Ukrainian sources that translate news into English, and if I have to read Dmitry Zhivitsky another time translated into English, I want to call them and be like, Ukrainian! Use Ukrainian transliteration.
When we talk about Severodonetsk,
It
sounds so Russian. Like, what the hell? Why didn't they change the name of the city?
Well, because it should be like Pivnichny Donetsk. Like, it shouldn't be Severo. It should be. Also, today I saw a British intelligence translated it not as Severodonetsk, but Severodonetsk, and I was like, no. The Russian transliteration, like, people gotta stop with the Russian transliteration, especially Ukrainian news sources who are used to saying these names in Russian because maybe Dmytro Zhivitsky speaks Russian normally, but like, he's not Dmitry Zhivitsky. He's Dmytro Zhivitsky. Like, get over it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they launched, unfortunately, another missile attack on Sumy region at about 13:30, which is 1:30 p.m. Ukrainian time. The State Duma wants to annex the Donetsk, Luhansk, and Kherson regions to Russia in July. This was stated by the head of the International Committee of the State Duma, Leonid Slutsky. yes, I wish them the very best luck with that, because I feel like once we get all of the weapons that we actually need, that are now in transport, it is going to be much harder for Russia to consider annexing anything. But I like, what pisses me off is that it's funny how they talk about, like, oh, we are gonna annex this, we're gonna annex that. Like, we've been effectively pushing you the out of our land for the last 3 months. Do you actually think we're gonna let you annex anything? Like, we've made that mistake in 2014. Like, this is not gonna happen. You better believe that we're gonna come for you and we're gonna push you out, because this is not your land. This is not your people. They don't want to live under your authoritarian, like, homophobic, women phobic, and like xenophobic, freaking disgusting regime, and we don't want it. One of the things that people don't realize, that also, like, kind of strikes me, right, is that when they say, like, oh, but these people wanted to be a part of Russia, they didn't. Do you not understand that it's not just about, like, living in Ukraine or living in Russia, right? Like, the difference between it is that Ukraine is a democratic country. Even if you are one of those people who is like, Ukraine is corrupt, like, it is a democratic country, and, like, you have rights. First of all, women's rights are equal to men's rights. In Russia, your husband, if he, like, beats you half to death, is not going to be arrested unless he actually kills you. So it's there is a lot of, like, nobody wants to live there, and the people who potentially might have wanted to live there, they don't anymore, because they've seen what it is, and it's like a dictatorship regime. Wait 1 second, someone's
Like,
trying.
we really have like some difference between Ukrainian language and Russian. You can explain that, because I can't really. When we say невеста in Russian, it means тобто
Fiance.
невесть, тобто невідома.
Oh yeah.
А коли в нас є в українській наречена, тобто він наречений їй, вона наречена йому, тобто якась наріччя, тобто це не те, що тебе змусила, тобто ти...
Like, it was fate made it happen, basically. Yeah. So Vasyl actually pointed out something very interesting that I never thought about it. Like, when you say fiance for a woman in Ukraine, for a woman or a man in Ukrainian, it basically, like, the word comes from the word comes from, like, a phrase that would mean basically that you've been destined to be with this person. But if you say невеста in Russian, it basically means, like, an uneducated person, like, she doesn't know what she's doing. Жених, though, is a man who is making the woman his wife, right? Жених и невеста, and then it's нареченный и наречена. So it's even like, Russian language in itself is quite misogynistic.
In Ukraine, cool. Both partners are equal. Okay, and the last, we have a lot of words like that. I've been watching video about that. When we have hospital in Ukraine, it is лікарня. Лікувати, it is to treat. And treatment, hospital, is literally translated the place where people are treated. And in Russia, it is больница, so where the place where people are sick. So if in Ukraine people are saying you're in hospital, you're in a place where you're getting better. But in Russia, it is in a place where people are sick. People are...
Yeah, больница, that's true. How did I never think about this?
And there are millions of examples like Russian,
Yeah. So, in general, like, language is just one of the examples, right? But if you think, like, I've been doing a lot of research. I know that Ukraine is not perfect, and we have a lot to go to. But out of the Eastern European countries that are from the post-Soviet space, like, we actually have a lot of our rights protected by constitution. Like, as in, like, our constitution protects us a lot. It's just that a lot of people, do not know their constitutional rights. Some of the judges do not know constitutional rights, and, like, some people are just not in with the times, right? Because they just sort of, like, they don't like, they choose to just, like, gloss over them. But realistically, if you were to go to court and you were to bring Ukrainian constitution and you were like, this is my right and it has been infringed upon, this is the constitution, this is number 25580 whatever, and like this protects me from what happened to me. You have to grant it. Like they would have to grant it. So
when we talk about drivers, right? In Ukraine, drivers in
yeah,
Ukraine, like people really know their rights. So far, people do know. People
yeah,
after those kind of corrupt stuff in the past, people right now know that what do you say should they say? I mean, like people
yeah.
here who got fines previously, they right now everyone here like educated about their rights to drive, and yeah, common problem
Oh
here.
yeah,
What?
I very much know Ukrainian like driving laws too because I had a car in Ukraine pretty early, and like if you are a young girl in the marca, like before like basically so like I had a pretty nice car in Ukraine, and before Zelensky, before 2014, before all of the whatever, like our police was extremely corrupt, right? And so if you're a young girl and you're driving a decent car, they're like money. And they're like, we're gonna stop you, you're gonna be scared, you're gonna give us money. And like I was like, no, I don't like they would be like, oh sergeant whatever, like blah blah, and I'm like, what's the reason for you stopping me? And to be like, oh, we just want to check. And I'm like, no, that's not a reason to stop somebody. Like what did I do that prompted you to randomly stop me, right? Because you're not supposed to randomly stop cars. Yeah, my dad was like very, 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 very. He was like, listen, we're gonna
So,
sit down here and we're gonna do a crash course.
so do you drive a car in the New York City?
Yeah, I mean,
I, I
I don't have a car in New York City because it's expensive and ridiculous, and there is no parking. But I do drive a car.
Okay, I was thinking about that as well. What was Subway?
I see. Here's the thing. Yes, this like your friend Yulia said, the subway does smell really bad, but you get used to it. And like at some point, you get used to it and you get over it. You gotta use the subway. It's fast.
Okay. New York is bad. Someone is saying why.
New York's
Every
not bad. Oh, hi, Olenka. There's a Ukrainian girl who lives in England here. Her name is Olenka. She's really nice. Her handle is Olenka Speaks, and she talks. She actually Olenka, you study international relations, right? Or like international politics?
in Ukraine.
Well, no, no, no. She's been living in England for a while, but she was just yes. She studies international relations, and she actually breaks down a lot of things quite often.
You know, it's like a really big joke right now to say to Russian people, are you so people who study international law, international relationships in Russia, you know, like what do you study? I hope you don't study international relationships because there are no need in future.
Oh yeah, there's no there's no need. That's very true, actually.
And Russian people do laugh sometimes because they do realize how
Yeah,
deep they are.
yeah. And you study international relations, so no, there's no need. That's so funny. I think my dad will like that joke. The governor of St. Petersburg visited Mariupol and saw the ruins of the already world famous drama theater. As advisor to the mayor of Mariupol, Petro Andrushenko reports today the governor of St. Petersburg, Alexander Belov, paid an official visit to their city. The head of the occupation administration of Mariupol, Ivashchenko, together with the leader of the so-called DNR, Pushilin, conducted a tour of the ruins of the drama theater of Mariupol. Excursion in the drama theater. Russian officials at the site of the death of 600 civilians from a Russian air bomb. A dream, Andrushenko said. So they're literally doing excursion tours to the site of the drama theater in Mariupol. Excursions.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Tourists from Russia come to Mariupol to look at the drama theater, take pictures with it.
Do they know that they have a lot of civilians who were
Yeah.
20 more than 20,000? Really?
Yeah, well, see, like, drama theater in Mariupol to them is like, it's the beacon of liberation of Mariupol.
Yeah, how many people are still there?
Not that many.
Bodies, I mean, not really people. I don't really
Also,
know if they.
did anybody watch the game between Ukraine and Scotland? Did Ukraine win? Because Ukraine was 2-0 last time I checked, and then it was 2-1. It's for
So
semifinals of it's for the qualifiers for the World Cup.
I won't be surprised if people will start telling us that we won because we have war, like because of Eurovision.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, 3-1. Oh my god, that's awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought about. I was like thinking that people are gonna start saying that Scotland probably gave in to Ukraine because because there is a war going on. It's like the same as Eurovision. We definitely didn't. It's not because our soccer skills are decent. It's because well, oh,
I
alrighty,
don't really
guys. I
watch
have 10
football.
more minutes, and then I need to go about things, and I need to bring Cindy to a park, and I need to walk Cindy and feed Cindy. So, we're like almost. We've read pretty much all of the important updates for today. All of the other updates I can just jump on the live like 30 minutes before my thing with Tommy, and I can just finish them because it's mostly just less important stuff. Ukraine winning stuff is a trend, Olenka says. Oh yeah, everybody just gives it to us again. Like we're super not talented, and like in fact, the only reason that we are winning this war from Russia is because NATO. NATO is fighting instead of us, and NATO is just saying that it's Ukraine fighting because come on, we are useless and we don't know anything, and we're so bad at combat.
Yulia,
And
what do you think about the sixth package of European Union sanctions against Russia?
I
It's
need to read more about it. To me, it seems like
okay.
this is not going to do anything again.
Yeah, I got it because first they have said like, okay, we're gonna make it soon, and then we can later. It's like
Well, it's sort of like first of all, there is this Russian creator. I don't want to like say the name because I'm not here to advertise Russian creators, but there is a Russian creator that was talking about sanctions. Like, well, first of all, she's from a bigger city, and so she like makes enough money to be able to afford Netflix and stuff like that to begin with, which most people in Russia don't. But she was saying that basically there are now services in Russia where you can send them rubles and they will pay for your subscriptions in dollars. So they still have Spotify and stuff like that because Spotify didn't leave the market. They just like blocked Russian ruble cards. And Netflix technically said that they left the market, but she was literally showing her phone with Netflix, and you can like watch the new season of Stranger Things with Russian dubbing. So they didn't leave.
what the hell?
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to um what they're trying to do. I don't even know. It's hard to explain. Like
I don't know what they're
technically,
trying to do, but
they
whatever it is really gross. I really don't like that
so
because if
how she can pay for Netflix if
so there are services in Belarus because Belarus is way less sanctioned than Russia is, where you can send those services rubles, Russian rubles, and they will keep the rubles and pay for your service in dollars and take like a commission of some sort, you know?
I really watched some economies. I mean, before the war, I followed someone who is really interesting content creator, and she is talking right now how to avoid, how to save money, how to get them into dollars. She is in Turkey. She's like making everyone get out of Russia to go to Turkey. And like there are
Mm,
ways only to avoid sanctions, to avoid those
yeah.
troubles with.
But see, like, it's really fucked up to me because, like, I feel like there's this trend going on for people being like, no, but that person is a good Russian. They're trying to leave Russia and flee, and it's like that is not a good Russian
No,
to me. Like,
no,
I don't get
it's
like,
not.
yeah, like you should be staying and you should be doing something for your country. Like,
Absolutely.
jeez,
Like you are escaping from your home. Okay, you have mess inside of your room. You have to go out. Your life will become better or no. Like you have to
yeah,
make an order inside of your room, and then you have to go
yeah,
out.
yeah. That's like the thing that because But that's like the mentality, you know, like Russians don't want to help each other. They don't want to build a better country for themselves. They just want to like they're selfish. It's just selfish, really.
Yeah.
Sinya. Sinya. Gremlin.
Okay, this beautiful name of your dog. It's like Sun.
Well, I call her. Well, here's the thing. I love that her name is Sinyu because I can make it into sinister when she doesn't behave. I call her Gremlin. I call her Gargoyle. I call her Sinister Minister. You should see like older ladies when I'm like walking down the street and I call her Sin. Everybody always turns around and they're just like, Sinya, ta Sinya. Звати Sinya. Ну, взагалі, типа, sin, like Sini, S-Y and I, because like I thought that Sinya in English transliteration was weird. But I call her, I don't even call her Sini. I call her whatever it is that I feel like calling her that day.
Yeah. A lot of people say that Johnny Depp won his case.
Yeah, well, his like attorneys really did a really good job. Like the thing is, I mean, like I think both of them are pretty toxic, but I also like don't think that Johnny Depp should have been taken off of like all of these movies and stuff because Amber Heard is like clearly lying about half of the stuff. And like, okay, he's an alcoholic, like okay, he's a little crazy, but like I wouldn't say he's like a wife beater, you know? Cindy, come here. Vasyl disagrees with me.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I'm just looking at my clock and it is midnight.
Oh yeah, you should go to bed.
Yeah, I have to go. I just will surf the internet for a bit, not too bad. But yeah, it was nice to talk to you. See each other.
You too, yeah,
Have a
let's
nice
talk
day.
soon.
Have a nice day.
Bye, Vasyl. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.
Hello, guys, again. I had no, for him, not gonna lie, I'm quite shocked. But that's like the thing, I honestly, like, the defamation law, like, basically the first lawsuit that Amber Heard filed against him, like, when I was watching that, I thought that he was gonna win 100%, and then they called him a domestic abuser, and they ruled in her favor, and I was like, what? Yeah, for sure. But that's what I was trying to say is that I think that one of the reasons why the case went the way it went is because, like, to like believe, they wanted to believe a woman, you know. And I was just like, okay, sides with that people weren't. Oh yeah, because my